Hello. Hi there. How y'all doing? Um, it's it's definitely Wednesday. Please don't check your calendars. It's definitely Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. I'm certain of it. Hi. I'm Slio down here in the corner telling you that it's Wednesday. Um, and so, because it's Wednesday, and definitely Wednesday, we're gonna just hang out and do some slime bopping. Are you able to do both trials with one team? The idea is gonna be yes. That is the setup we're gonna be doing. So today is we're getting some new vocations for the entire squad, and then we're gonna do some leveling with bopping some slimes on an island, and that's basically it. So it's gonna be just sort of hangout time as we hang out and bop some slimes, which will be a good time. But also some like theory crafting time. The idea is that we're gonna have a squad that's able to perform both the claw boomerang and the stave axe side. One of the tricks there is that the claw boomerang side has an axe that's wieldable by a wrangler so that we can do the other side. Will that team be able to 15 turn? God, we won't need to. I only need to 25 turn. I don't know about the 15 turn. Anywho. It should. It's likely able to, because the idea about 15 turning God is that we just have Slio use Omni Heal every turn while everybody else burns heavy damage. So, hi, this is our squad. It's been our squad for a while. We got Slio, we got Kid, we got Shala, we got Bozo. Current problems. Let's talk about the trials ahead of us. It's actually pretty small, the problems with the trials ahead of us. We don't have many. The biggest issue with the trials ahead of us is that I'm going to go ahead and zoom and go to Temple Trials. We can't change Slio's class, but we can just like bop Slio off the team if I really wanted to. That's legal. So, hi, this is the post-game. We're not doing this today, but I'm showing this off to kind of talk about the theory crafting that we're doing. And also, I'm going to be down in the corner because we're just on like more as sort of a guide for y'all. Let me know again. Like I've been using Slio a little bit more, our little buddy, and so I like to know if you think Slio's cool to have around or not. But so this is Claws and Boomerangs test, and we can see here's the whole place. It's pretty big. It's got a bunch of mimics and treasures and trials. So this is heavily enforced. This is like enforced by penalty of death. If you're not equipped with a claw or a boomerang, you have like a dark aura on you, and you take like 100x damage, and you deal like no damage. So like right here, Bozo can't equip either a claw or a boomerang from what we have, and that means that like they're just dead weight. They just aren't functional. And so, we need to set up a class that's able to wield claws and boomerangs across the board. We also have, in this other trial... Yeah, I'm gonna see if this, like, little corner works out for Dragon Quest here. If it gets... This is what I use for Slay the Spire, by the way, this, like, positioning for Slio. So, we'll see if this positioning for Slio also works here. Or if it, like, covers up stuff in combat. I like having me around, though. Vipers drew this for me, and I'm really happy about it. So this side is axes and staves. And our current problem with axes and staves is actually, like, a little silly. Everyone on this team can wield axes or staves, but our Monster Wrangler doesn't have a legal axe. No axes that exist are legal for Monster Wrangler. However, one of the treasures in the other side, somewhere in there, which means we're going to have to do some exploring... I just know this from, like, folks were talking about this in chat on Wednesday, saying, like, oh, there is an axe that Monster Wrangler could wield. But it's in the claw boomerang zone. So, that's kind of the problem. Could possibly be a little bigger? Okay. That's good to know. I don't know that I'll do like, I'll think about doing adjustments here on the fly when we get to, like, Metal Slime time. Like, if I do, I want to be a little careful because this is the Slay the Spire setup that I'm mirroring. I don't want to, like, eat that because I think the Slay the Spire setup is in a good place. But the bottom corner here works. It's like a little bit. Anyway, once we beat all 5, we get through this door, and there's something on the other side of this door, a 6th trial. The other trials we have involve a pile of money and a pile of mini-medals. We have 94 mini-medals, we need 105. Hey, Zane. Having a good Wednesday, I hope. Yeah, we need $1 million. We have, like, a third of that. But so, here's the squad we're gonna go with, alright? So let's go back to all trades. Let's go back to Dharma. Let's go back to change up vocations. The setup here we're going to do is going to be both for, like, the enrichment of Kid Shala and Bozo, and also for, like, the correct equipment. We're going to go ahead and save quick here to make sure that this does function. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep a Monster Wrangler on the party, and that's going to be what we turn... we're going to swap Kid over to a Monster Wrangler, and we're going to swap Shala over into a Martial Artist. And then Bozo's going to become a Merchant. Those are the 3 classes we're going to have that allow us to legally do both sides of the fight. And the reason I want those classes is I want Kid to have more speed. Or, sorry, I want Kid to have Monster Wrangler. So we have Monster Wrangler abilities on 2. I want Shala to have more speed. So that Shala's able to like, keep up faster. And I want Bozo to have more health. One of Bozo's biggest things is just not having a lot of health, and as we saw, like, going into Merchant did result in a lot of health. We could go into, like, Warrior on people as well, but I like swapping a little bit more across the board. We'll see how it fully plays, but, like, the main thing is that in a fight, Kid and Shala are going to be doing Monster Wrangler nonsense with Monster Pylon for big damage. And Bozo is going to be, like, backup assisting Slyo for healing and keeping people standing, and also having access to, like, just double casting big spells. So, and we're going to do all 3 of these at once. Time for a new vocation. So, Kid is going to be a Wrangler. Now, the funny part about this is, you remember our bits, our claws and boomerangs, and axes and staves. And so you might be thinking, well, if I'm doing a martial artist, how are we doing that? Like, that's going to break, right? You're right. Like, martial artist gets claws as their main thing. And any other equipment they have sucks, is awful. But they can have it. You can equip an axe on a martial artist. It sucks and gives them negative attack. But I don't care. Oh, we get the 10 no. Yeah, we get like a 10 Shinhan look here. We'll have to take a look at what the looks are. Actually, that's like a Gohan hat. Yeah, negative attack doesn't matter when your moves are spamming. I'm thinking like the Gohan hat with a Dragon Ball. All right, Bozo is gonna be the ancient merchant. The slippery devil's finally found his true calling. My congratulations, Bozo. All right. Alright, and as we saw, Hero can't change. Slyo cannot change. Slyo is vocation Erdrick now. That's actually really cool. I didn't notice that we're off Hero. We're on Erdrick. We're a level above Hero. That's cute. I'm loving the little details available in this game for like how everything like works like that. Oh, I can't wait for 1-2 remaster as well. I don't know if they'll have the same full effect as playing through 3 again, but they probably, like, I assume the remaster's gonna have a lot behind them. Alright, let's take a look at, like, what we can do for changing appearance. I feel like Kid is a little more freestyle. I don't think Kid is walking around with the horns. I feel like Kid's walking around with the cool hat. Maybe the scruffy hair, too, is pretty nice. Like, she can enjoy both of those. We're gonna keep that hair color. Not changing the voice either. Kid's scrappy. Alright. Then... I think the hat is a really good choice for Shala. Shala was wearing that like helmet before, and the hat I think is a good match. So I don't think we need any changes there. The question we could go with here is what Bozo's old man get up looks like. I don't think we're on these first two. They look a little bit too youthful. I like this hat, and I like this one as well. I like our pair here. It's really just a question of which looks better on Bozo. I think this looks a little bit more like Bozo. Like we have a bit more of the old man eyes. We have the same silver hairstyle with a mustache here, but like this works out. So I think our styles are fairly functional. So we got a good setup. So we've got Shala, we've got Kid, we've got Shala, and we got Bozo. They're all level 1. Let's double check their equipment. They're doing fine. I don't think we need to adjust these any because we're just going to be doing walking around for the moment. But again, taking a look here, right there it is, Iron Axe. So this is to prove it out. We've got axes here. We can even use this battle axe, which is worse. And obviously we have claws. That's what we have equipped. Bozo has claws right here. Another set of dragon claws. And has access to axes as well. So we're good there. That'll fix up for us. And then if we go to Kid, Kid has access to claws. So that does our claws and boomerangs. But you'll notice, no axe. So the axe we have to find is in that trial. So we have to do that trial first, then the other trial. And that's going to be our setup. I thought about adding a mage, but the problem is that none of the mages, like, cover this well. Like, I can't keep Sage. That was a problem in the first place. And I would want to do another Sage to have, like, a little bit more spell casting available, or maybe some more MP. But Bozo's still a mage. And, should be doing pretty well. Bozo still has 200 MP. Now, can Bozo equip the hat? Bozo cannot equip the double cast hat. That's a little tragic, but to be expected, I'm certain. I think Bozo's going to be the weakest character. But the problem is I can't do double Monster Wrangler. That's not a legal option. There's only one axe is the problem. Can the hero use it? No, hero can also not use the double up hat. So... I think that, again, Bozo's going to be in a bit of a poor position there from everything. But Bozo's going to be doing more, like, isn't going to be the damage dealer, but is going to be the second support helping out Slyo. That's basically the plan. It's not optimal, but, like, we're not going for optimal. We're going for, like, working and able to finish it. I think that'll get across the finish line. So, where do we have to go next? Well, where we have to go next is actually up here near Talantair Tunnel. Because north of Talantair Tunnel is an important island. I don't remember if it's this island here. I think it's this island here. I think it's this one to my right. We learned about this from a princess, the Princess of Slimes. An island with only slimes. Okay, so I think as is, we're fine. Let's give him a call and see how this works. There they are! Hello! The pile of slimes. So, what are we doing here? We have a metal wing boomerang. Keep this handy if you think you're fighting some metallic menaces. In addition to that... Oh, I was scared there. We do have Metal Slash hanging out on Kid's beat as well. We don't have as much here in Shala. Shala can still Monster Pile on. And we don't have almost anything hanging out on our side with Bozo. Bozo can just do Harvest Moon. Oh! That's 3 metal slimes. Alright. 10 levels, 50 HP, 30 MP. We're in lower levels, so these stats aren't as huge, but we're also seeing, like, agility, luck, a lot of that's there. And there's our monster pile on, so... Shala also gets up to level 10. A much smaller amount of HP on that. That's like 40 still, though. We do want to reach like 400 HP on folks if we can get that high. That is a lot of MP, though. That MP is actually really important because Shala is doing a lot of monster pile on, and we want to be able to cast that pretty leanly. All right, Bozo to 12, right out the gate again. Okay, there's a lot of that HP we want to see for Bozo. There's a lot of that MP as well. That works pretty well. Bozo needs a lot of health to get things rolling. Bozo finds some extra money for us. So that's the setup for what we're doing here. But this is full slime islands. There's more slimes. You might wonder, wow, Slyo outsped. The trick there is that Slyo is currently equipped with the meteorite bracer to double speed, and Slyo has eaten so many Slyo snacks that they're infinite speed. It's quite great. So, Bozo, call up buddy. That's too many. That's so many. That's so many. That's too many. I don't know what to do about that. That's too many. One gone. 2 gone. 1 here. 3 gone. 4 gone. 5 gone. 2 here. 6 gone. Okay. Monster friends. And Metal Slash. Yes! Yes! Two of them was doubting the power of Slime Island. Slime Island's got the friends we need. So that's 2 liquid metal slimes. That's 25,000 experience. Anyway, we're at level 18 now. I don't think this is going to be a terribly lengthy stream, mind you. We do want to hit we have some thresholds we want to hit. A King Hydra is 25,000, so we could go deal with King Hydras once we get to a point where we think we can take them in reasonable times. These are looking really nice, though. Okay, Bozo almost at 300 health. We're gonna have to hit like a pretty reasonable level, though, is the thing. Because we were level 40 before. And we do need enough, like, power to keep us alive. Like, right now, Shala and Bozo will die in, like, too easily against Shenlong. So Shala actually might have some trouble hitting that, like, MP or HP threshold. We'll see. Finding more friends is something that we will also do, but I think that's a mainstream thing as well. We're gonna have to do some finding friends and also finding mini medals. I feel like those two actions are similar searches. Oh, they're back. Okay. Honestly, Metal Slash might not be better than Monster Pile-On now that I'm thinking about it. Monster Pile-On's so good. Okay, 50-50 split. Bonk, 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 bonk. Ooh, okay. Perhaps I'm underestimating the power of Metal Slash. That's probably better for Bozo to be doing. I don't think Bozo has much else that I care about. If we find a group like that, it's probably worth, like, adding that. Anyway, level 20 for Kid, good. We did double damage. We literally broke through that defense. Okay. 2 levels is still 5 HP, that's fine. Kid isn't the one who needs the most health. Shala's the one who needs it. Okay, and 1 level was 12 HP, that's nice. Whoa! Bozo, of course, making it up because Merchant has a lot of HP in the pocket. Pretty happy with where Bozo's going to be at the end of this, I feel. Oh my god! They don't notice! They didn't see us! Path! That could be the Metal King right there. That's 10 metal slimes. That's so many slimes. 2. Yo, Bozo! What? We never get to see when you do that. Oh, I love the little side. The animations on these metal slimes are so cute. Okay. Pop. Alright, let's see how good Bozo is. It pierces. Bozo pierces the defense. Okay. Light level there. But that's fine. Kid has a lot of, like, again, Kid isn't the one I'm worried about. The only other game I can think of it pierced in was, I think it was one of the Game Boy ones. I think it pierced in. It was like a bit. Okay, 3 HP. I like the MP on Shala too. That's good. Bozo, no HP, but that's fine. Bozo's going to get the health. Like, I'm not worried about Bozo. I'm worried about Shala the most. I want 400 HP on all, so. At least if we run into a non-fight like this, we can just, like, pretty easily get through it. Bonk. But yeah, no, I was thinking about, like, so from our previous draft we were doing earlier today, like, one of the things that I always feel is, like, part of playing Magic is that, like, most of games of Magic, no matter how, like, wild or outrageous the odds or small things that occur that build up, like, it takes a very specific set of circumstances for me to actually be, like, angry or annoyed at an outcome, and that basically, like, comes down to just when I make a game-ending mistake that was obvious to me in hindsight. Like, but when we have a game that's like, you know, we draw 5 lands running, like, to me it's hilarious. To me it's a very, like, silly piece of it. I'm sorry, Charlotte got a level off that fight? Nice. Damn, okay. Glad to see that HP. That's 14 from that. But yeah, it's part of playing long-form card games or long-form fight games or long-form, like, anything like that, like, it's something where there is no escaping taking losses. You being able to just sort of be like, to I guess, shrug it off, but, like, accept it, roll with it is just an important piece of all of it to me. I like having a challenge and have things go wrong. If things went right all the time, there would be no, like, what would be the challenge in that, right? Okay, most of the other fights we get through really quickly here. Antidote herb. We are getting paid for this. Not in any, like, meaningful way, but we are getting paid. I don't know if this is more efficient than King Hydra's. I think at this point it's not, but I don't know if we can efficiently kill King Hydra's is the problem. I'm more worried about that piece of the King Hydra fighting. Oh, dang, all 3 down. Nice. Looking really nice for Kid there. Oh, and Bozo. That's good. Metal Slimes are still giving relevant amounts of... Nice. Again, the HP is a big... Helicopter. I think what we'll do is we'll do this for a while, and then we'll go kind of check out what we can do with King Hydras. Those were, like, partway through the bonus dungeon, so a little bit of walking time. But yeah, I hope you're all having a good Wednesday. Definitely a good Wednesday. I've been having a pretty nice one. It's Wednesday. Yeah. It's nice that the setup we have makes this a pretty, like, clean thing to be doing, right? Like, we're able to, like, when we get metal slime fights, we're able to get them down. Like, you know, metal slime's easy, liquid metal slimes we get a pair, so... that's nice. It's also got the relaxing, yeah, oh, okay. It's also got the relaxing, like, Dragon Quest 1 overworld going on here, which is nice. I think they're 50% to run. Yeah, 50-50. Okay, spreading the damage is a little awkward, but, like, it's okay. 1. Okay. Any that stick around are great, and I assume 2 will stick. If we get 3, that's lucky. Ah, 3. Our Mana Wars slimes, they share a sprite with Kier slimes, but I don't sort them with them in my head. That's an interesting one. Like, Mana Wars and Mana War likes, there's a couple, like, ones that kind of match them that show up on water, don't share the properties of a Kier slime or a Heal slime or Healy. But they share the sprite. I think you still stack them in slimes, but, like, I know some Dragon Warrior monster games have aquatic as their own family. Dragon Warrior Monsters 2 specifically is the one that comes to mind. And I wouldn't think it wrong to have them be like the slime aquatic monster. They are still cute, that's true. Hey, Slyo getting a level. That's another part of this, that Slyo will be gaining levels too. God damn. Slyo up above 700 HP. Slyo's doing so much work. Slyo's eating so many seeds. Oh! Slyo still had more to learn, huh? We got Giga Slash. Okay, that's great. That's fine. Having a lot of health to back that up. The MP, I want to be above 200 or so, but like that. Sorry, that's 4 levels. I just realized that's 4 levels. That's a lot of levels. Kid, you gained a few levels there. That's pretty good. Okay, so maybe that HP is not as great there, but that's still fine. Like, again, Kid is not the one I'm worried about HP. And if I want to get Kid about 500, that's probably good. No MP on 4 levels? Okay, well. How much is Giga Slash in this? That's a good question. Okay, Shaw above 300 finally. 150 strength. Getting good MP rolls, that's good. Knuckle Sandwich. Bozo to 27. What do we got here for Bozo? Bozo broken 350. Good MP there. Fine strength. Okay. Let's go ahead and check out how much that Giga Slash is, indeed. Or metal slimes. Giga Slash. Secret sword technique that sails all enemies with bolts of blazing lightning. 38. Let's see how this looks. I'll use it against metal slime. Miss. Look, these slimes, yeah, these slimes are incredibly grounded. 2. Boing, boing. We're gonna get like 2 of these. Yeah, we get 2 slime. That's fine. We would have had more, but we were doing some funky around with Giga Slash. Shaw gets a level off that, though. Still something. Okay, good HP there. 7 on a level. Bozo also gets a level off this, up to 28. Okay. We're getting to the point where I'm already like, Shala needs, again, Bozo's like 40 HP above where Bozo was, so that's good. Ooh. of them. Okay. Okay. We get 2 of them to stick? Yep. Okay, Cure Slime sticking around. Nice. Are a bit annoying, but, like, Puff will get through these. Okay, Cure Slime's down, so we're not gonna heal them. 2! Love to see a 2. Alright, 1 Liquid Metal Slime sticking around, 2 Liquid Metal Slime sticking around. And we get the... They, like, melt. Miss, 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 miss. The Dragon Breath is powerful enough to melt a Metal Slime. Alright, Kid 28th, that's, what, 2 levels there? Yeah, 449, looking good. Get the Boulder. Shala 26. Okay, slowly getting there. Bozo not moving. Come on, Bozo. I believe in you. Alright, this is the fight where I can go ahead and Giga Slash. Some. The damage is some. Ooh. Ah, okay, there's only one of them. Whatever, that's fine. Let's see how fast the fights are at Ultra Fast. I don't want to keep Ultra Fast on like long term for fights. Just like the wiggling is a little too fast. But we can do that for this piece. The entire point of this is that we're trying to speed along a leveling piece. Okay, I do get to enjoy the fast wiggle. I think it's fine for us to turn on fast speed, especially when we're on second to last, like, stream time. Look at the fast wiggle on specifically the sea slime. That's really cute. Okay, that's 1 sticking around. That's 2 sticking around. Okay. Buff. Okay. 1 stuck. 1 sticks. Okay, we got 1. Yeah, that's something we're gonna have to note. Actually, that's something I can take care of right now so we don't forget it for future, that Shaw has the mirror shield. That's a good point to note. That's exactly the sort of thing I wanted to see. 20 HP on a level from Shala. Good for Bozo as well. Okay. Yeah, let's put the Tempest shield. Yeah, we probably want to empty pockets. We'll do that later. Again, I feel like the main thing I want to be doing here is just fights. I want that to be like a pseudo off-screen action that's real. But hi, hope you're all having a good time chilling. We're just here having a good time. Hope you're all doing good. Ooh, this is exactly what we're after. Hello. Man, I'm still thinking about the draft we did. I'm thinking about LP. I'm thinking about Magic, just in general. I know we were talking about, like, bits with, like, how standard sets have been accelerated to 6 a year. That's, like, a very fast and for rotating drafts, which I like, but, like, definitely has a knock-on impact for, like, cost of playing constructed. Okay, let's see if we can get 3 to stick. I'll take 2. Damn! Well, we got 1. That's better than 0. Wish the FFZ wasn't premium price. Not only that, but, like, apparently that's, like, going to be a standard thing going forward. They announced the Spider-Man one, and that's in September or October, whatever. That's also, like, premium priced, where, like, it's at, like, 7 a pack plus, rather than, like, 5. Ooh, 2 levels for Kid. This is still very effective. 1 Metal Slime is still multiple levels for folks. Shaw 28. Yeah, that MP's nice. That's actually a lot of strength, too. Double Up. Ooh, is Double Up a priority? I'm gonna have to try that. We'll have to see if Double Up is priority. We saw it wasn't 6, but, like, that feels like maybe too good for the move. They might have removed the priority piece of that. In terms of limited player perspective, do you feel ditching block drafting has been a positive change? From a drafting perspective, yes. Here's a trick about, like, block structure and drafting. Something like 80 to 90% of draft formats that are 2 or 3 sets are garbage. Like, there are so very few draft formats that improve or stay the same by adding on or changing the format by adding on, like, Aether Revolt or Cons adding on Fate Reforged or Theros adding on Born of the Gods or, like, a lot of those just got worse as formats by changing them and adding in the larger card pool. People think of Innistrad format as one of the coolest limited formats. Dark Ascension just doesn't do much. It's one of the most neutral editions, and that's, like, one of the best that you can ask for is having neutral. I have a lot of reasons I don't like ditching block structure for other reasons. I think it does, like, a narrative disservice overall. Even just having, like, a 2-set block. One of the other problems with like the block structure is that adding on the small set was always, like, a weird problem because a small set by nature. Let's try Double Up. I don't know if this is priority. We'll see if it's priority pretty quickly, I suppose. Nope, that's not priority. Okay, they got rid of priority on Double Up, which is fine. Double Up, like, was a little too good anyway to have priority. Let's be real. Like, that gave Carver so much power. We'll stick with Pile Up. Yeah, okay. But yeah, like, just a lot of there are so many limited formats that just either, like, one of the most baseline you can ask for. The fact that it's not priority does make it weird, because if you're slowest with it, that makes it more powerful, right? Because it doesn't unleash the drawback until you're slow. Which would make sense. Bozo getting paid. But yeah, like... No. Yeah, you don't lower your defense until it's active. That makes sense. I'm going through my list of sets and trying to think of a limited format that improves with adding sets. Ravnica Block Original is one I think that improves by adding sets. The texture of Ravnica is way different than Ravnica Guildpact Ascension. And Ravnica Guildpact Ascension asks some more interesting color requirement questions, whereas like Ravnica has some dead end like color combinations because you can't. The full block also has some dead end color combinations, but Triple Ravnica also has dead end color combinations, and they're more annoying. Boros and Demir are both kind of dead end, like if you try to move that way, because they can't like flex the right way. Whereas Celestia and Golgari can move into Golgari Demir or Golgari Celestia, whereas Boros can't do that, which makes it like a harder thing to work with. So that's a format that I think the setup gives some power to. But again, that feels more like the exception rather than the rule. Yeah, at least we got a metal slime. That's good. Hey, and we get a Bozo level for that. That's nice. Okay. It's been a while since we've had like a block setup. The last true block setup we have wasn't even a full block. Ravnica Legions and such. Oh, hey, a level for Shala. Nice. What are we looking at? 13 HP, good, excellent. Great to see it. That's a lot of MP too. I don't know. I think that block structure is something that I feel. Oh no, they get the jump on us. We're maybe getting one of these if we're lucky then. Let's give it a shot. Okay. 2 remaining. Half. Okay, we do have one at least sticking around. We do 2. Sweet. Think we'll get there without Puff. Yeah, got there without Puff. Like, Ravnica wasn't a full block from draft perspective because he drafted War of the Spark alone. Hey, a Slyo level kick-ass. Alright, what do we got? After all that, no HP, no MP. Slyo hit Giga Slash and went, I'm done. It's over. We're stopping right there. We still get, like, you know, good agility, good strength on that. Like, that's fine. Alright, Kid 31. No HP. Again, that's fine. Kid's in a position where I don't mind that. Kid had I-5-5 Interstellar going into this. Yeah, well, Interstellar needs it more than that. We had the Phi's health going into this. Okay, excellent. 51. And Bozo also comes up with a level. Ooh, 402. And $35. Yeah, one of the things, so, like, again, this is a good spot for me to just sort of kind of go on about it, but, like, one of the pieces that I think is a part that we're going to miss a lot not having a block structure, and we can see it by, like, how the War of not the War of the Spark, like the March of the Machine singular, that whole setup was not a block structure, but kind of a block structure, is that the storytelling within the game suffers greatly. I think we're in a spot right now where, like, the actual stories and the writing is really strong, but the storytelling and arcs within a set, like, aren't. Aether Drift is one of many good examples of this, because you only have one set to do this in. You don't get, like, you know how a story has, like, like, hey, not even just, like, rising action, climax, that whole piece of it, but just like a beginning, middle, and end, right? Like just like from a basic standpoint, like a narrative, as the word is, wants us to have like pieces presented in a timeline, so that we see how a story builds and resolves. And a one-set structure has a lot of problems with that because you basically just get a snapshot. You don't get a build-up payoff. You get handed, this is Ether Drift. You're introduced to the race, and immediately on another card you have to see who won it. Like, there's no arc to it. It's just there. Ooh. How many of them are gonna flee? Like 3? No, they all want blood. Wow. Metal slime want blood. That was so many metal slimes wanting blood. You can't, you can't have, even like from a card perspective, like I'm thinking like Theros Original, where you have, if I'm to tell you the story of Theros Original in a short form, I can show you Xenagos Planeswalker. I can show you, I know like we can do this in one set, but like a set is still like one piece in time, and that like, but like Xenagos Planeswalker to Xenagos God to Deicide. Oh, that was a lot of metal slimes down. How much? Ooh, 6,000. Sweet. And this is a very different, like, I know there's been a very common refrain over the last year about, like, sets feeling like different coats of paint. And that's a very different, like, sidebar to what I'm thinking of. I'm just thinking about, like, you can't build up and pay off anything when everything happens all at once. Because you don't control the way that people see the cards, you have to be like, if you want to have a story in a one-set structure, you can't really present it on the cards, and if it's not presented on the cards, well then it's like, hey, a bozo bulb. Like, it's like having the story is like, here we have these articles you can read that tell you what's going on in the full set, but like that's a very, very, very small subset of your base that even knows or cares about that. It to me, that's like having extended universe, like fiction pieces where like, in order to get the full, like, yeah, you could go watch this movie, but to get everything out of it, you need to, like, there's these other pieces of media that explain everything for what the build-up and payoff was to this story. Thinking of, this can go from, like, stuff in a video game, I don't want to throw too much on Destiny, but I'm going to throw it on Destiny because I've heard it said Destiny has the greatest story told in the worst way in game. I adore like the whole story of Oryx, Savathûn, and Zivurath is like so goddamn cool, but it's presented as like, hey, go read this wiki entry effectively, right? Like, yes, I know it's in game. You can read the like 50 entries, but it's just presented as a book. It's like, oh, in order to have all the background for Heresy, you have to have read this. Like, otherwise, like, this doesn't make the sense on the season. And that's similar to how, like, you know, Magic sets have that, where like we need to presenting it on the cards versus presenting it elsewhere is a tight balance. Hey, a level for kid, and a good level for kid, too. The difference between, like, original Star Wars versus, like, go listen to the Fortnite crossover that tells you that that Palpatine's returned or whatnot. That one's more of a a joke to throw under that movie, but I don't have goodwill towards that film, so hey, here's the fight. Love to get this one in particular. Let's get 2 out of this. I want 2. Okay, 3 remain. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Oh, that's so good. Level 33 for Kid off of 37,000. Okay, we're almost back up to 500 for Kid. Yeah, I use the story. There's a number of cards that are marked as, like, story line cards within each set, and I feel like that's a good step because it's, like, especially, I don't think they number them anymore. They used to number them, but, like, I feel like that is an important bit to be like, hey, here is, if you want to know the narrative just based on your cards you're holding in your binder, you can kind of see, you know, oh, you know, loot get captured, Chandra picks up loot, we're in this race, and, like, here's the race to the finish line and such. Wow, 2 levels, no HP on Bozo? Wow, that's even with, like, 7 stamina gain, too. Okay. We're moving pretty fast here. Bozo's at 35, Kid's at 33. This is going faster than I expected to get to 40. I know, like, obviously we're not there yet, and each level gets slower and slower, but, like, this is faster than I expected to get to, like, a position where I'm happy with the party. Because, like, looking at, like, the party right now, Shala is right over the line I want. I want Shala to have a little bit more health, but this is enough. This is what I want for, at least, for going for the Shenlong fight. The Shenlong fight, I want to be able to survive. Hi. I want to be able to survive a fall down and a breath afterwards, which is like 220 plus 100. Ooh. Love this metal boomerang doing work. But yeah, there are, but like I said, like, even with the narrative stuff that I'd like to see out of a block structure, there are also problems with it, when I talk about it in regards to its, like, limited structure. Even, like, problems of, like, hey, do we have enough space these days? Like, how much space do you want to spend on a 2-block structure if we're also still in the space where we are handing off, like, Final Fantasy, Spider-Man, Avatar: The Last Airbender sets, and, like, having gaps between them? Like, or do we want them to be, like, back-to-back? Like they feel like that? I don't think that's an incorrect bit, but I feel like that would be a question you'd have to answer with, like, and then we paused for us to turn on the television for a little bit as, like, as we have, like, a cliffhanger. I think the overarching narrative stuff right now is not in a position that I like. I know that, like, the current set of sets has been dubbed, like, the Dragon Storm cycle, and that's like, there are Doctor Who seasons that have more textual connection between their episodes than the last 4 sets of the Dragon Storm cycle stuff do. Because, like, you might as well be saying Torchwood at me every episode and saying that we're building to the Torchwood cycle. Like, that's nothing. When each of the sets has, like, Kellen as a character we're following, whether you like or dislike tell it as a character that at least gives us a narrative through line that sticks with us for the, like, hey, this is a journey we're following one character on. But, like, we basically aren't doing that on these, and, like, to have that be, like, a storyline is not anything, I think. Yeah, there's a lot of Doctor Who seasons where, like, your overarching plot is just, like, maybe it's just a word. Again, somebody says Torchwood once in a while every season, or, like, maybe it's a scene at the end of every episode where a character appears and, like, sort of, like, does something sinister, and then we meet them in the last couple episodes. And that's about the level of connective tissue on these. So, the thing is, saying Tarkir's leaking doesn't even appear on any of the cards. It almost isn't noticeable if you're even looking for it. Because the, within Bloomborough, like, a dragon calamity is a big thing, but, like, it's much like the calamities we already have, and, like, okay. And then we have, like, a dragon vision in Duskmorn, and then, like, we do have a big dragon battle at the end of, Aetherdrift, but that's, like, our falling action going into Tarkir. So, like, the only connective tissue is the end of Aetherdrift to Tarkir rather than all the sets, in my mind. It's no different than pointing at the WrestleMania sign. Maybe it is. It's less than pointing at the WrestleMania sign. Sometimes pointing at the WrestleMania sign can be an effective thing to keep it in mind when you're still telling a different story. And if that's the idea, then that's great. That works. I just don't think you, like, call them the Dragonstorm cycle or whatever. And maybe that's not used in a lot of the actual... Yes. It might be that I only know that they call it that because of being plugged in enough to know that they're supposed to be that way. Because I don't know that that's how they're presented as, like, sets. You know what I mean? Because obviously ooh, love to have a kill like that. The sets aren't presented that way. It's not as though, like, you go and buy a pack of Bloomborough that says Act 1 of the Dragonstorm cycle on it. It doesn't... They're not connected in that way. Okay, we get 2. That's good. So that might be a moot point. Maybe you want to have them that disconnected. Again, I'm just sort of spitballing things as I'm thinking about the ways that stories are told. I think a lot more about narrative structures and such these days than I did maybe if you talked to me like 5 years ago. Slide 47. It's something that interests me a lot more, like, now that I think about it and spend time on it. Okay. Ooh, all right, kid over the line. 200 MP is pretty good. We can do a little more, but not too much. Like, 200 is enough to be, like, pyloning pretty heavily. We must construct additional pylons. Okay, Charlotte at 82. That's great to see. Bozo 36. How far does that get us up, Bozo? 425. Ooh, nice. And, is that like usable damage? $50 coins multiplied by your current level, so 36 means that this is $1,500, $2,000, give or take. Let's use that in a fight. Let's see what that looks like. Well, we're not... No, actually, this is a fine place to use it. Attack, attack. And let's go ability Call to Arms. Because the Cure Slimes, I think, live through. That's Monster Pylon. So that's Monster Pylon, but cash? think the balance of narrative, gameplay, and business concerns make the medium special. It's true. Like, telling a story in a card game narrative is such a, like, unique space. It's why there's a lot of these pieces, I think, that are moving that make it difficult. It's a piece that, like, makes it unique compared to... You can't have it just be, like, oh, we're going to one-to-one emulate things we want to see out of comic book media or video game media or out of film. None of those you can emulate one-to-one because you're in a different media. You can't... Yo, kid level. Sweet. That's fine. That's weird. That's real. Stamina. Level 40 is where I want to, like, I think get up to. 400 HP line on Shala would also be, like, a perfect place to be. This is already more powerful than I think our previous party was. I think we have a better fight against Shenlong like this. But yeah, like, because the needs of having a... telling a story in a way that is, like, you know, looking at... let's talk about older sets. Tempest is a fairly ancient set, in the grand scheme of things, late 90s. And Tempest as a set, one of its conceits, one of its pieces that, like, you can see within the cards is that every card specifically one-to-one matches a moment in the story. Every single card has a point you can put it in the narrative. Like, you have a timeline, and every single card goes on the timeline, 100%. Red had a good breakdown of that. I don't know if it's still up on their site. Win 1,000 battles. Alright, sweet. But, like, that is a, like, interesting way to try to solve a narrative problem. I don't know if that's, like, that might be an overkill way of doing it. But it certainly is a way to choose to take on it, you know? Like, if everything fits into your story, then you can, like, see it more. And going on, like, having I think it is correct to have, like, different layers of it, where, like, okay, we do have the cards, and we have story told on and off the cards, but, like, there's always been, even to this day, a disconnect between the story told on the cards and the story told outside of that. And that disconnect is where friction occurs. It is still a little ways away in a full scale, but, like, I think about Ikoria as one of those. Now let's see if calling this out, if this is okay. That is Monster Pile on. Dark didn't work, took a big swing. Yeah, the Dark is, like, was a set designed around, like, a feel. We want the set to have a mood, and all of the cards play into that. Antiquities is a set where everything's about artifacts, and we're playing directly into this at all times. Okay, no health on Shala level. Roundhouse kick. Oh, I think that's hit everyone. I think that's a party, an enemy-wide hit. It's funny, HP is the one we're very specifically looking for, and seeing these levels where we don't get any, it's like, yes. Well, Urza's Block is a set with a narrative through line as well, which is about, like, the way that Urza is dealing with the Phyrexians and and like that whole narrative piece. It was also the set called the Artifact Cycle, with the mechanical theme trying to be enchantments, but all the broken cards, most of the broken cards, being artifacts. It's funny, it gets thought of as like an artifact set for its broken artifacts, which is true, but it's also not without its broken enchantments. Bargain lives in that set, you know. Rancor is a card that comes out of that set. But it also, like very heavily, and we also have, like, you know, Monolith, Memory Jar, things like that, that clearly were just, like, outrageous. Love to see you, friends. Let's try a roundhouse kick here. 3 crits! Brothers War, the set, has slightly more of the cards being artifact or caring about artifacts. Okay, roundhouse kick ain't the move here. Brothers War is one of my favorite narrative sets, because the set itself is 3 sets. We have 3 time periods that we are watching in Brothers War, the set. We have, like, pre-conflict, you know, small Urza and Mishra digging out ancient artifacts with their mentor, and how that ends, you know, with Brotherhood's End. We have the middle of the war, like where the war is ongoing, and then we have like the end of it, and we get to see an Urza and Mishra in all 3 places. And, like, that's an important... I think, that, again, that's a unique piece that you could use in a card setting to give you an arc, rather than have it being a moment in time. I don't know that worked, like, fully, like... But I appreciated it a lot, especially for being, like, a set that tells an old Magic story that is very... key to how we got to current day Magic. The Brothers War and everything that came after it basically are what the next 25 years of the game were built on. Everything that Urza did, and the ongoing struggle between Urza and the Phyrexians after the fight with his brother. Because, like, all of Urza's, like, everything dealing with Urza and the Phyrexians is basically all of early Magic from, like, a narrative standpoint. Sorry, like, all of, like, Mirage forward. Like, even Ice Age, I'd say even, like, Ice Age forward is actually still implications of Urza's, and Antiquities is Urza's as well. Let's say all of Magic, all of early Magic. Obviously, there are pieces that aren't, but we go all the way up to the end of Invasion Block. So we go all the way to the end of Invasion Block, and then that's like the end of that cycle. We kill Yawgmoth, Urza dies. We have, you know, the card Vindicate is our endpoint there. Don't mourn for me. And then the next 2 cycles, Odyssey and Onslaught, are all based off of a group on Dominaria caring about the Mirari, which is an artifact left over from Urza's time. It's all about that. We end with Karn taking the Mirari and saying, this sucks, this conflict is dumb, I'm taking this away, you can't play ball anymore. After we end with some really weird stuff involving Akroma and Phage, and such, not important. But we go to Mirrodin. Mirrodin, a fully metal set, is an artificial plane created by Karn out of the Mirari. So everything involving Mirrodin is still linked back all the way to Urza, and such. Dominaria, the set, capture the feel of listening to a history professor gush about their favorite things. Yeah, having Dominaria, the set named Dominaria, be a set about history, I think was a really great choice, especially with Sagas. Yes, Karn also being a creation of Urza, makes that link even, like, makes that link continuous. Sagas are one of my favorite card types. It's great every once in a while when, like, you know, Richard Garfield is invited back in and hits another home run. Urza, the character not getting a legend until Modern Horizons 1 still baffles me. That basically came down to, like, the fear of not making a card cool enough for the character, right? Like, we didn't make an Urza because we didn't want to make an Urza that didn't match up to the gigantic buildup that was Urza. Which is hilarious because, like, the MH1 Urza is a card that, like, feels the power. Like, like, that card, like, has... I still feel like that card is strong enough to beat Urza. Same with the Yawgmoth. Both of those cards are cards that, like, they swung and hit, in my mind. But, like, that is a real, like, hey, you don't want to, like, if it's a... These are really... Like, how do you design a Planeswalker when a Planeswalker is supposed to be a player, right? And that's why we changed the definition of Planeswalkers after the mending, so that Planeswalkers could be a card type, so that they're not player-level gods. Slio 48! Sweet. It was inevitable that this became a lot of Magic talk. That was actually an intended feature of this stream. Like to see a lot of health there. Any MP is great because Slio's main contribution in fights is really expensive. Like Omni Heal or Giga Slash or, like, you know, high level Zap. You know, if we're talking about Kazap. But yeah, that's actually one of the things I think that the Modern Horizons sets do a lot of good. Same with Foundations. For setting a... Foundations for setting a baseline, and the setup for Modern Horizons for allowing exploration of settings already built. Magic is, at this point, a game that's 30 plus years old and has dozens upon dozens of different, like, fully fleshed out settings, and even ones that maybe aren't as fully fleshed out. And these, the big, you know, Foundations, Modern Horizons, gives room to allow us to have a sneak peek back into those without us needing to have to dedicate a full set to them, which is currently an issue when we only have 3 standard sets a year that are, like, full Magic sets, and we still want to build new areas. We want to build our Bloom Burrows, we want to build Duskmourn, we want to build Edge of Eternity. But if that takes up half of your slots, then your other half, you know, 1 to 2 a year, are your sets that show off a plane. So this year, like, once we're past Tarkir, there is no Magic set that is a return to an existing setting. Modern Horizons does good stuff, not necessarily for Modern, ironically. That is a funny piece of it. Modern Horizons did a lot of work that turned Modern into, like, a Yu-Gi-Oh-esque rotating format. What I mean by that... Bozo got a level off that? Hold on. Once I see Bozo's level, then we'll hit that. What I mean by that. Because I think that statement needs some clarification. Okay, 440. Bozo's getting the HP that I wanted out of Merchant, which is perfect. 15 on that. Also, like, you know, we're getting a good amount of agility, 227, and fine strength. So what I mean when I say a Yu-Gi-Oh! Style rotating format, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game that the majority of the game is played in one format, the like advanced TCG format. There are other side formats that exist, but they don't exist like in Magic, where Magic has standard, modern, EDH, Pauper, Legacy, like a ton of different formats that exist at, like, real levels of play where, like, if I went to a shop, I can expect to ask about like a number of them. There's really only one with some side formats that exist, like Edison or like old style formats. So really, there's only, like, for the point I'm making here, there's one Yu-Gi-Oh format. And the way that Yu-Gi-Oh balances that format, rotates that format, is that when a new set or sets come out that want to shake up the format, we ban or limit a dozen different cards in the major decks that exist, and we print a bunch of cards that shift us up another gear. And we effectively rotate out the format by, we take Sky Striker, Orcust, Thunder Dragon, and Salamangreat, hit a few, bop them all on the head, and then all of a sudden now Eldritch and Adamancipator and these things come in, and then those get popped on the head, and Tearlaments and Sprite come in, and now they're the top dog. They're top dog for a year. Kashtira comes in, and we bop them on the head. Now Kashtira and such are the top dogs, and we do that where, like, the way that Yu-Gi-Oh rotates is that, like, the newer stuff is both a like, a lot of it is self-contained archetypes that like to maybe pull a couple things from history, but are like a deck unto themselves, and generally have like a way of being stronger, better than what came before. Not necessarily just numbers-wise. Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't operate on just numbers-wise, but on different axes. Yeah, when I mentioned Edison as a format, Edison as an alternative Yu-Gi-Oh format is a format that exists of basically saying, this is a format that existed at exactly one tournament, and that's the card pool that is real. Think of it like pre-modern in Magic. Magic has a format called pre-modern that's all pre-modern. It's the opposite of modern, but it's a format that can't grow because nothing can be printed. It's all cards that came before modern. New stuff doesn't enter the format. And so that's one of the other style of formats that exist within Yu-Gi-Oh, but that doesn't involve like new cards coming in. But so Modern Horizons has a similar effect. Modern doesn't have the same bannings that knock out everything, but it definitely takes the floor, takes the format and raises the bar. And all of a sudden, what was your like normal bar for what existed in Modern no longer is your bar, and each of the Modern Horizons sets cranked that up a little bit. One of the points I like to look at is that in the Pro Tour following Modern Horizons 3, the Modern Pro Tour after Modern Horizons 3, 100% of decks were playing cards from Modern Horizons 3. There was one deck that I can think of that it was exactly one card. It was one of the flip dual lands. I think the red-white dual. The dual face card that is like double a power of a creature on its cast, and it's a red-white dual on the back. But like 100% of decks were just doing Modern Horizons 3 things. It was that powerful. It knocked everything else out. Nice, 10 HP for Shala. That's exactly what we want to see on a level. Ooh, 8 strength also. God damn. Yeah, buff. Legion leadership. Thank you. It's the hybrid. Those lands I think are really cool. But like that's a big thing about like what Modern Horizons did to Modern is that it like pseudo rotated the format in a Yu-Gi-Oh style by making things that just like crowded everything else out. Hey, that's a great crit. Spent $1,500 to get 2 metal slimes down, 37 gold. That's a lot of money. I probably shouldn't do that too often. We're at I think 1,000 above where we started. This isn't a money-making game stream. Yeah. I don't know, again, these are all like loose thoughts I think of in my head about like where Magic narrative sits. One thing I do want to say about like upcoming Magic set stuff is that the stuff we've seen for Edge of Eternities looks incredible. Looks like a really strong setting. I know that like again, the Magic with a coat of paint over it, where for sets just being like effectively a piece of media, but in a suit, in a trench coat. Edge of Eternities does not in any way to me look like we're doing Star Wars with a trench coat on. It looks like we're doing like a much more like based on old adventure serials, Flash Gordon-esque. And like, nothing new under the sun sort of thing. And like, I have a dear love for Bloomborough using extant space in a really cool way. And I think this will too. Oh, rip, it came back? Well. After somebody mentioned on Wednesday about the video about the Dragon Quest wiki, and damn, fuck, God, hell. I have few words more than that. Like, fucking, wow. Like, my words are easy. They're trans rights or human rights. Fuck off. Like, like, oh, a level for kid. Nice. Okay, 10 more HP. What are we doing there, then? I think Thunder Junction, Murder Mystery and Innistrad are really poor genre-heavy set design. Like, Innistrad is one of those that, was the original Innistrad talking about here, was very much like, we wanted to build a set that was a lot of, like, horror movie-esque tropes, but, like, in a way that isn't, you are playing a set that is exactly a pile of tropes, but rather, God, tropes aren't a bad thing. Tropes exist, like these genre conventions and things that you recognize aren't bad for existing, and using them isn't a bad thing to do. But there's a difference between, like, a fun nod to an existing, like, to this existing media or existing trope or existing idea of, I want to have my own take on vampires. I want to show a different idea of how vampires work or how zombies work. And so we have Geralf and Gissa, who kind of represent two different styles of zombies. One, the Frankenstein-esque rebirth of, like, putting life into a body versus resurrecting a corpse. And they aren't directly, this is Evil Dead, or this is literally Frankenstein for the most part. They are, like, pastiche isn't the right word. Like, they're different takes on it. Whereas, like, it gets a lot weaker when it just is. One of the weakest pieces of Duskmourn in my mind isn't the 80s aesthetic, like, cheerleader. That is weak in my mind, but it's not the weakest piece. Homage, that's a good word. That's not the weakest piece in my mind. The actual weakest piece of Duskmourn's pastiche story pieces is the Rakdos dude who's just Kramer from Saw, who's the literal like I want to play a game card, and like it's just like 6 cards that are not like barely doing anything unique. It's just, hey, do you know Saw? Ha, here's Saw. Like, that's, you haven't gone far enough to making your own thing. You're just like throwing it back at me and saying, hey, like, you know, live or die, make your choice. And if you're at that point, just do a Universes Beyond Secret Lair. Like, don't, like, if you're just gonna hit that point of it, right? In my mind. I think that, like, yeah, I think it's, like, the Lord of Pain character, I think, is more interesting looking at that, but the cards around the Lord of Pain, they're specifically like want to play a game. There's like 4 cards in my mind that are just, this is Saw, the movie Saw from Saw, and we're not doing enough unique on that. Yes, it's not like this is a trope from this. It's just this is this. Oh wow, all 4 fleet. Dang. Oh well. Because, like, there is a, like, there is a unique, like, okay, we have this unique character in the Lord of Pain who, like, why they're doing all this, but that doesn't come across in the cards in it, really, anyway. And I think that's the weaker point of how if you're going to, like, build something off of, an idea or a world or a setting. Bloomburrow has a few, very few direct call-outs to the stylized bits that it is using as a starting point. Bloomburrow is its own world. Bloomburrow gets called like, oh, it's Redwall Plane, it's Mouse Guard Plane, but it's not. Bloomburrow is very specifically Bloomburrow. There are a couple of, like, you know, Mabel has a bit of a direct, like, Secret of Nim-esque callback in the little art piece, or there's a Lutri, one of the Otter cards is very close to like a book cover, but we are, like, a lot, like, what we're doing in there is just taking, like, we just kind of have the idea of, hey, we have this world of anthropomorphic, like, fun little animals, and it's its own, like, it's its own world. It isn't just like, oh, you're unfamiliar with this. It's just something, like, built on the ground of, here's this idea. And that gets a lot better when it is something built out of its unique space there. My problems with Aether Drift actually don't match the like, Murders and Thunder Junction-esque kind of covers. It's more that, like, we're taking existing characters and pushing them into a slot. Again, different narrative issues you find. Kaldheim was a preview of this problem. It was just surrounded by sets that didn't have this problem. Yeah, Kaldheim, like, aren't there are just a bunch of characters that are, this is Thor, this is Loki, this is Odin, right? Like, we just, like, Quattro Begina, or not even the Zex Marquis, you know, level. That's actually being rude to Zex, I'm sorry. Like, it's probably fine if I'm being rude to Gundam Wing, but, you know. But, like, Aldrin is just Odin, even down to the Ravens stuff. We have we're going so deep into being exactly what our setting is, rather than a more unique turn on it. one of the things that I think does a lot of good for Theros. Theros does have this problem at times too, for just being like Greek myth. But one of the things I think that makes Theros unique is that the gods themselves like do look like, it's like, okay, we can kind of analog Heliod to Zeus and maybe a couple like that. But the specifics of the setting and the way they all interact makes it its own unique place. The fact that the gods are truly powered by belief, and the gods don't want the people to know this. Like that's the conflict, is that Xenagos has become a god by realizing that the gods are just powered by belief that they're gods, and that alone is like this setting conceit that turns it more unique. Finally, hi, welcome. Our friends are here. All right, how many? I want one. Okay. That was actually mentioned in... So Mark Rosewater had a recent video. It's a really good video. I recommend looking at it. That's the top 20 Magic designs, and the way that they... the way that these designs influence future designs. I feel like there's a couple holes in there, and I think Mark even said as much. Like, I just forgot to put something like Necrotal or Mana War on there. But it's a really good video that talks about, like, specific cards and the way that they influence the future of design and space like that. And there is a bit talking about, like, narrative cards that are like a story unto themselves or referential to extant stories. Yo, all right, 2 of them. Sweet. All right, Bozo 39. We were at 40, I think, when we started today. Okay, no HP, no MP. That's fine. 440 is a good number. 4 stamina off that. 4 agility, okay. Complete. Shell is very close. I'm really enjoying this. I'm really liking just being able to have fun bopping metal slimes on the head, but like also getting to sort of chat with y'all about magic stuff in my head. I don't have good places for like putting this all out, and so this is a good, like, I love to talk about all this though. What sort of abilities does martial artists get? Let's take a look. We got a lot of like speedy style combat abilities. We haven't been liking it though. So if we take a look at Kid, we've got no, sorry, not on Kid. We'll want to look on Kid will do a here. So we've got starting here, we got Flying Knee, which is airborne enemies. Hawkeye Claw, undodgeable, unblockable, unstoppable. Talking cards and slimes, very Sly and I'm Thieves. It's basically the 2 big things that stuck together for me. Wind Sickles, this is a wind hit on things. Knuckle Sandwich is a power hit. Double Up's a little worse than it was. It's a double damage attack that makes you take double hit damage, but doesn't have the priority. Roundhouse Kick is effectively using a boomerang. This is like an all hit. We don't want to be doing that against metal slimes because most all hits whiff on metal slimes other than the metal boomerang. Then we have 2 unknowns. I don't know if like this is where Hatchet lives or if we're gonna end up with like maybe the multi fists. That'd be something I would guess being in here. I think we're missing 2, so, and we're missing 1 here as well. So problem is like beating Pylon is very hard. Alright, level 36 Shala. Maybe we get another martial artist move here. No HP. A lot of MP, I like that. Yep, no move. Yeah, but I know there's been a lot of like direct feedback to Wizards on like, hey, like if you're going to be doing these like very like uh trope heavy referential-esque settings that are like that we're doing like Thunder Junction-esque stuff, like treat them more like Innistrad than like, you know, in the way. The level goal for this outing is 40. I want to hit 40 on folks. I will accept it if Shala doesn't fully hit 40, because Shala is I think leveling a little slower. Let me take a look. 36. Yeah, 40 is our end goal. Bozo's getting there. Kid is getting there. Like we're close in on it, and like we can see like two metal slimes gets Kid there. But 400 HP is the like line I wanted to hit with everyone, because that's enough to like survive Shenlong's attacks. Oh, that was one down. Hey, buddy. Metal Slash. Monsters Pylon. Puff. Oh, well. Hey, we got a Metal Slime, though. The thing is that I think doing our other bits, like when we do trials, we're also just going to be gaining experience doing fights in there too. A very mathy Netrunner question. Sure, shoot. This is a good time if folks just want to ask things too. Yeah, this is a good time just hanging out, having, you know, enjoying seeing some slimes. I very much enjoyed perceiving these slimes. More expensive cards should have more impact per cost, but what's the curve look like on that? In what manner? Like, are we talking about like, are we talking about impact from like a event that does a thing, or are we talking about like specific ice or icebreakers? Ice and icebreakers kind of have their own curve on like what you get for what you spend. And there's a lot of tools that tweak icebreaker numbers between costs to play, costs to pump, and costs to break. Those are three distinct pieces of an icebreaker, whereas an ice just has like a res cost, but like what you get out of that being how effective it is versus its strength versus any extra abilities it has. There are some baselines that exist within Netrunner. I always think of the card named Sure Gamble or the card named Hedge Fund as like the what you expect to get out of a card. Those are both 5 cost cards that give you $9. This is an effective +2 because playing the card costs an action. You could have just spent that action gaining $1. So going from 5 to 9 instead of 5 to 6. But drawing that card also pseudo costs an action. This is true more on the runner side than on the corp side, because the corp always is drawing once per turn. So drawing doesn't distinctly analog to a click, but that makes it a +2 versus like Easy Mark / Beanstalk royalties. Easy Mark and Beanstalk royalties are 0 cost that gain 3. You gain $1 extra from. You gain $1 less for them being that cheap. However, being cheap is its own advantage because it means you can use them as a short or a more unexpected burst. If you're somehow brought down to 0 because you needed to spend all your money on an icebreaker to break through a run more expensive than you thought, or you had to res a piece of ice that in defense that you really didn't want to, using Easy Mark / Beanstalk royalties to gain money is something you can do at any speed, whereas Hedge Fund / Sure Gamble need to have a baseline of $5 to use. Wayland also gets access to 10 gain 15 as an event. so that's a +5 rather than a +4 or a +3. And that also extends to card draw opportunities. Diesel is a card that exists for... Ooh, 4 of them. Sweet. Diesel is a card for Shaper that has the text 0, draw 3 cards. Hilarious to me because, like, Netrunner is a place where that's not a busted thing because the time cost is the real cost, much like a Pokemon cost. But Shaper also had quality time. Quality time was 3 cost to draw 5. So because it was more expensive, it was able to be more powerful because it needs to, because that, like, it needs a higher threshold. And like 10 for 15 is wild because getting to 10 is, in some decks, difficult, or you're not even going to be there. Getting to 10 natural takes 2.5 turns for Runner and 3.5 for Corp. Corp gets 3 actions, Runner gets 4. I don't think we got any of those metal slimes, that's sad. But there's also a different costing, like, all these costs, at least these credit and, so credit gain and card draw are easier to gauge because they directly relate to a game action everyone has access to. You can always turn 1 credit into $1. So, things that gain you cards or gain you credits or draw you cards always are going to be compared to the base action. This is why a thing like Jackson Howard has power in card draw because it has click for 2, though a lot of the power in Jackson Howard is in the shuffle. But you can directly relate that to click draw 1 and see, oh, this is bigger, this is more efficient than my base action. And that doesn't always mean it's better. For instance, in the base set of Netrunner Original, there's a card called Melange Mining Corp. This is a good point of reference for efficiency. Melange Mining Corp is an asset, for the Corp that says click, 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 gain $7. And so, looking at that, it's easy to look at the math and go, oh, this gains $7 for 3 clicks instead of $3 for 3 clicks. That's $4 more efficient. But the cost of 3 of your clicks in a row at all one time is very high. That's your whole turn as the Corp. You can't make any other plays. So that opportunity cost of what your time is worth makes Melange not a very strong option because while it is huge money, the time cost on it is incredibly big. And so that at least there's a couple different costs that you're looking at when you're looking at like direct money, draw, run events even, things like that. Speaking of Netrunner, when you first get into Slay the Spire, watching a video about the creation of Slay the Spire, Netrunner got brought up for getting early playtesters. I was not a playtester on early Slay the Spire, but I recognize basically every name on it because the playtest group for it was Netrunner folks. The designers on it were folks on StimHack. Like, these were like known players, like, you know, people that were known in the Netrunner community that, you know, built it. It's great. Like, you can see Dan's name. Dan is the 2014-2015 world champ in the credits if you're looking at playtester names. I got into Slay the Spire very early, though, because I did find it at that point. I think when I got into Slay the Spire, there were 2 player classes, like, flat. There was just Ironclad Silent. We weren't even at Defect, and cards were still being changed on a weekly basis. But yeah, as for other efficiency bits, a lot of the other efficiencies in Netrunner get compared to different cards for their efficiencies. If we're talking about like multi-access or things like that, you're effectively looking at either like what the cost of multiple runs is or other cards that do such a thing. Comparing Jailbreak to R&D interface to Maker's Eye to indexing. All these are different ways to multi. Yes, 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 yes. Hello, hi, they're here. Yes. Ooh. When you're doing new deck building in a game, do you use any particular strategies for deck building? A lot of, when I'm approaching a game from like a direct standpoint of like, oh, this is something brand new, and it still like compares to like Magic or is a card game in some way. There's two bits that I'm usually looking at. One is a like efficiency level. Like, how can I get to my most powerful pieces of my strategy most effective, like most often? One of the ways to, if you're building a deck in Magic or even in Limited, one of the reasons you want to be at 40 or 60 cards is that you are more likely to draw the more powerful elements of your deck more often. And this applies to basically any game. You know, and this is something that can be very unintuitive about something like, did we get 3 there? If you've ever played Dominion, Dominion is a deck building game where your deck starts with cash and victory points. You draw 5 cards and you spend the cash from your hand to buy cards that give you either actions that make you more efficient or more better money, $2 coins or $3 coins, so that when you draw, you have bigger cash. One of the card points of like, I don't know, a turning point in strategy about Dominion is there's a card called Chapel in the game that just says remove 4 cards in your hand from your deck. Like they're gone, they're out of there. And on face value, this looks like nothing. This looks like this looks like a detriment. Why would I want to do this? Why would I want to remove cards from my deck? And the answer is very similarly to get to your more powerful cards more often. Removing your baseline cards, much like in Slay the Spire, I'm always removing strikes and defense. This is an efficiency bit. Synergies are harder to gauge, and so I don't know that, like, as a starting point, that is something that, like, maybe this is something I should talk more about when I'm going through a mod, because a mod is very much like a similar idea where, like, I'm being introduced to a brand new game, and I have to, like, figure out what the strategies are on the fly, right? But the idea is basically efficiency and keeping things small. There's a lot that I take from playing Magic, from playing Netrunner, from playing all these card games I've played, Hearthstone, Game of Thrones, just looking at the pile of cards I have sitting around, you know, Slay the Spire, that, like, stick with you and are applicable to other games. It was very easy to see when you, nice, 49 for Slyo, 20 health, damn. It was very nice to see, like, playing Runeterra for the first time, the difference between somebody who was playing Runeterra for the first time as a card game and somebody who was playing Runeterra for the first time as a card game who had played Magic. Because ideas like Mana Curve, the ability to play cards on turns and use your resources efficiently, the idea of the value of trading, again, in a combat game, my 1-drop trades for your 3-drop, I am advantaged. And in Netrunner, that doesn't necessarily apply because Netrunner doesn't trade. Netrunner comes at this very sideways in its asymmetrical way, but also, like, that's why Netrunner deck building is hard. Netrunner is a game that's very difficult to deck build in. It's been something that like I've had to talk with people a lot about like how to approach it. And a lot of how to approach Netrunner is like asking what you want your deck to do and then covering how to do that efficiently and then covering your weaknesses. You're obviously not going to build a Netrunner deck that can't break code gates if you're a runner. You probably have some sort of engine that you want to build. If you're building a corp deck, a lot of the times you want to make sure that you cover all 3 different types of ice types, if nothing else, to force the runner to have to go get those breakers. That isn't a hard, fast rule, but it's a good guideline. And these are, it's a lot of really difficult things to learn about it. I remember doing a lot of teaching about that at our local shop. Netrunner is a game where you build a highly synergistic machine that can never win if you're not careful. Yeah. Hey, big group is here. All right, I think the big, honestly, Puff is so much of the damage that comes out of this. I might want to turn Slyo into Falcon Slash Multi-Slash, because that targets one of these more rather than going, well, the crit fishing is actually very efficient too. That might be most effective, because the crits there are doing a lot of work. Okay. Yeah, looks like we're getting 3. Like, playing Netrunner, I think, is more important to learning Netrunner than deck building. You want to play a lot more than you want to, like, and then start learning how to deck build. Hey, Kid is higher health. We did it, everybody. She was 5s before. She had a 555, and now she's at 557. No health for Shala. Oh, well. MP's nice. This is still a fine level. I like that 6 agility, actually, a lot. Or 7 agility. That's a good question. If I can give Kid, Kid can't wield it? Bozo can wield it, but Kid can't. Oh, free. But yeah, a lot of, like, deck building and, hey, Seed of Magic. Slyo Snack. 1 Slyo Snack for the day. That's good. Looking at the stats for my own team and HG2D, it's funny seeing the difference between all my seeds to the hero versus you spreading them out. I'm interested. Like, what does your hero look like comparatively? Like, this is, I think, Slyo at 49. Hey, on the Metal Slime down. Here's, I'll go ahead and pull up status for you. Yeah, 310 strength. At level 51, 549 HP and 496 MP. So we are, 200 HP over that, almost. 2 levels down, and 50 MP under that. 2 levels down. Okay. God damn. I was under the impression that in the HD 2D collection, stat seeds were full stats even on a stat change. I was under the impression that but again, information for that is hard to verify. I'm not certain on that, but I had seen that mentioned a couple times. Goodbye. specifically when we were doing, we haven't been using a lot of seeds on characters, but we did see that, like, if I go look at, like, what their stats would, yes, be, on changing them, they're, like, half +4, or half +5, which I think means that the seeds are being kept as full. But I don't know that for certain. Makes it. I think we're getting one of these. Oh, not at 4 misses. That ain't it. Okay, we are getting one of these at least. That's fine. One metal slime is still one metal slime is still one metal slime. Ooh, 4 hits. 38 Shala, good. We're getting close to our finishing. Shala up to 400 health. That was my goal. I want to hit level 40, I think, here. I think that's going to be my stopping. Multi-Fist. I was right that Multi-Fist was going to be on martial artists. Okay. Bozo finds $5. So Multi-Fist is 4 hits on all enemies. Yeah, the belly flops from Shenlong are like 200 to 220 damage, so 400 still might not survive them, but we haven't seen... I've not seen a double, like, flop turn. And if that occurs, Shala is the only one who should fall over to that, at least right now. So... If I do Multi-Fist, how's that look? Keeping you entertained, change your re-sleeve of One Piece. Happy to just be in the background for you. As I've said, and I say every stream, and I do mean it. I'm just happy that you're here having a good time. If it's just like listening to this in the background as you're relaxing, I don't know, driving, I don't know, like, and any small thing, having this on as like a sort of talking podcast in the background, or watching this just to enjoy seeing some slimes, or chatting it up as we're talking about different odds and ends of Magic. Like, I'm very happy that you're all here. The main reason I stream anything is to share the experience with others of games that I adore. That is my #1 reason I stream anything, is because it's something I want to, like, share with everybody and be able to show, like, hey, this is this game, this thing that I love doing, I love playing, I love going through, and I get to show you all why it's that thing to me. I do so much Magic drafting because drafting is the thing that I enjoy the most about Magic. Even if it still is like an unknown when it's like a new set or something like that, but that makes it a shared experience. Yeah. Dragon Warrior Wednesday for the big cloud. Everybody's here for Slyo 50. Yo! No HP, no MP on Slyo 50? Okay, that's still 5 strength. That's still, like, luck, agility. That's fine. That's funny, though. 750 health is wild. We're getting up to almost max. Wish One Piece had a draft format. I've gotten to do Netrunner Cube drafting, and that's something I've seen that's still, like, a real thing around, like, some of my favorite games. And it's a blast to be able to play limited formats. Slyo 50 in the year 3000. I've shown off this game, I think, once on stream, and it's something I want to spend more time with. The original Game of Thrones LCG is one of my favorite card games that exists, and that game had a really fun limited format and a really fun constructed format, too. I loved playing that. And I feel like it's something that, like, I just have the cards around to be able to make, like, a extant cube for it, and try to find a way to share that with people. The newer version of the LCG I haven't spent a lot of time with. I was playing Netrunner when that came out and didn't have time to dedicate to, like, a third card game, because I was still playing Magic at the time, too. But the Game of Thrones LCG and CCG, which is, like, a game from, like, 2004, 2003, one of its most unique pieces is that it's a game that starts in media res. Like, I wasn't even looking! I wasn't even looking! I was looking at... No! Ah, hi! They're here? Okay, okay. Okay, okay, hold on. Hold on. No! I didn't... Okay, it's fine. One point you were replacing a little slide, it was really large and had a little... So, yeah, the Discord is the Skull Eater Center. It has a little Skull Eater with, like... Is it a Pride flag right now? I changed the flag. Yeah, it's a Pride Skull Eater. Sometimes it changes to Wrath Skull Eater, and sometimes that changes. The Skull Eater flag changes, but there's a nice little Skull Eater. Phrasing your question different and honing on a specific card. Magic red damage cards. Lightning Bolt 1 through 3 is generally too much. 1 for 2 is 2 in line, but you can get effects with it. 2 for 3, also find like a Lightning Strike. What point does this card get out of hand? More cost plus 1, or is Fireball still good? Fireball is good because of the flexibility. It doesn't have anything to do with the curve. Fireball and its ilk like Blaze, and the power between them is never going to be efficiency, because those will never make it on efficiency, but they will make it based on flexibility. A lightning bolt can never do more than 3 damage on its own, whereas a fireball like can hit higher. Burst lightning is a kind of good example of like a more flexible burn spell that breaks curve like that in some ways. But there is a, like, I don't know, sliding scale of efficiency versus like flexibility. Like cards like Boros Charm are really powerful because the 4 damage is way above efficient on what it does, but it also has options as far as like stop a removal spell, double strike a creature. In general, in Magic, 2 points, like a shock, is under the current line for standard formats. So you usually will get shock with a bonus. Burst lightning is in Foundations. The bonus is that it can be 4 damage if you have enough mana left over, but like you sometimes will get other bonuses to it. 100,000 channel points to change the flag. I do like... So I've used the channel point redeems for like the character creation here. I do want to have something for those to do at some point. I've talked about one of the things about my stream. Okay. One of the big reason I'm doing these streams is because it's games that I want to share with you, and like experiences that I want you to be able to see as well. This has more grown to be also I want to be here to share those experiences with you. There was a long time where like Slyo here in the corner is a new addition on stream because I'm finally more comfortable with having me as a visual piece element of the game here, right? For the most part, in my streams, I don't like to put something over the experience that's already happening, other than myself. Like, I find the redeems great and funny for the experience of like Doc having a Ridley fight, or Gnome having a Sekiro redeem. Like, I think that works really well for the experience that they're looking to have, but I'm not a fan of having them myself in what goes on here, which means that having point redeems that like directly you know, I have a button that I had made for like open pack.wave, but I also don't want like, I don't know that I want that to be what the stream experience is. I want the stream experience to be 2 bits. I want the stream experience to be like, hey, here's this cool game, and here I am here, right? Like, I want both of those. It used to be that I more valued the game more than myself, but I have more self-esteem these days than I think I did 10 years ago. Weird, but time marches on, and I'm happier with where I am. And so, like, you know, Slyo gets to live here as time has gone on. Hey, kid reached 40. But it means that, like, I also... Ooh. Alright. 568. Nice strength gain on that, too. No MP. 225 MP is a little lower than I want, but I think that'll still be okay because Monster Pylon's so cheap. Monster Pylon is so cheap. Channel would even turn Slyo to a little metal slime for a bit. Things like that might be fun. Things that adjust the Slyo. Nothing there. But yeah, so like that is a those are important tenets of the stream to me, of like what I want the stream to be. I am looking at Monster Pylon, 8 MP by the by, so 225 MP is able to cast this 25 times. Even more if I turn on Wild Side, which is 9, and then we're casting 8 for double. Replace Slyo's cards with Neverhunter cards. That would be fun if I, like, commissioned Vpris to make some different cards for there. But, yeah. I don't know, I don't... Oh, we crit the Cure Slime, that's fine. But yeah, another part of the stream experience is that I feel like I am, like, a little slower to change the setups that I have. I feel like if you go watch a Magic stream from now versus a Magic stream from 10 years ago, the visual experience is going to be, well, okay, Magic Online versus Arena, but, like, I haven't changed the setup much. My voice is wildly different. That's a fun bit of it. That's something that, like, there's just a point in time where all of a sudden I lost my voice and it came back different. I don't know. It's weird to me because I like going back and like watching an old video and being like, wait a minute, like I know me. That's a little weird. My V8. A CBI raid where the portrait is a little Slyo. My current Discord icon, thank you, Psych, is a slime with my portrait taped on it like it's a TF2 spy mask. Thank you very much for that. I love that one. It also has a Platypunk tail on it still. You can actually read the cards as opposed to Dragon Space. Yeah, when I was like, that was like what I was streaming on like XSplit, and like the cards were just completely not readable. The Platypunk tail is also important. Hey, Antidote. We have made $5,000 today so far. This has been effective. We're at about 2 hours in, and most of the party's at level 40.
Brace yourself.
Remember all the memorable cards from Dragon Maze? Oh, yeah. That set was so ineffectual for Standard that, like, Voice of Resurgence was such an expensive card because nothing, like... because Magic sets like will hold their value somewhere, and if it's not spread out, it all gets thrown in one card. You know. So like, if there's only a couple effective cards in a set, then all of a sudden those cards are way more expensive than they would be if they were printed in a bigger time set. Only one of them sticking around, huh? Okay, sticking around. That's good. I love Slime Island. Bozo42. All right, Bozo42, what do you got for us? No health, no MP, we're done. Yeah, all right, that's fine. We've been seeing that with these levels where we get like really wild swings. Shala 39 is coming up. That's good. Shala 39 gets us pretty close to our goal. Our goal is Shala 40. Bonk, bonk. That flail, the Destructiball, great name, by the way. Such a powerful weapon. Hey! I love that there's so many of them. There's 10 of them. That's so many. Tarkir wedges basically stuck. Like, the Ikoria names absolutely did not. It's almost impossible to tell what a Ikoria name is. Like, I don't think those stuck at all. Like, the trick there is that, like, Tarkir is not a very old set in the whole grand scheme of things. It's in the like, you know, last decade, almost exactly. And the names for the like triomes or whatever to Ikoria were just not like evocative or effective or efficient or used heavily. Whereas like Mardu had Mardu Ascendancy, Mardu War Chief, Mardu Charm, Mardu like Hateblade. Mardu is used all the time on there, so a lot of cards are Mardu cards, and you remember them because they're effective as Jeskai cards. You remember Jeskai because, you know, Abzan, because they're effective cards with Abzan in their name. One HP. Is that 25 MP? Also 7 strength. The wedge names from Shards are a long time like through, and like we haven't gone back there, but they have been used and reused in like deck names for the longest time. Jund was just the name of a deck for forever, you know? Okay. I thought you were gonna full heal the slime for 5 or whatever. Like. The family names in New Capenna. Those are better than the, so those are more evocative and used and like, kind of like make sense than the Ikoria ones. The Ikoria ones feel like the Apocalypse ones, where they're just like nonsense that just doesn't stick in your head. Like there's nothing that like the Apocalypse ones, Degavolver, Necrovolver, those are all like they all sound the same, and there's nothing about them that sticks because they all are like very similar. The Ikoria ones on the other side are like too long and too also like Zagotha, like what is that? Like, you know, it's only used really on the triomes because wedges weren't a focus of Ikoria. They were a happenstance of Ikoria. Um, and like the design of original Ravnica is one of the like biggest home runs of Magic ever, like just flat ever. Um, all of the guilds being as like the guilds being designed as like, okay, we want to give them a identity that people like, that both like sticks out gameplay wise, flavor wise, and like is very like, you know, easy to stick in your head. The sounds are different and feel different for each of these. Um, you know, the reason Gruul has stuck around for decades. Like, and like players identifying with a guild in their play style. I want to be sneaky like Demir. I want to be in your face like the Gruul. I want to build a board like the Celestia. I want to have control like the Azorius. All of them have their own ideals, and all of them fit into different spaces, both in Magic and within the world. They're also like, you know, yeah, short names. Like Azorius is the longest, right? Like, you know, as far as like what mental space versus all of them being like again, Zagantha Triome, which is the only one I can remember. Alright, Metal Slime stuck. Okay, no crit. Invention of hybrid, equalization of enemy and ally colors. Now that says yeah. I think that the fact that there's a resonance to gameplay and a resonance to the world and a resonance to that fits those together, so that you can feel like you want to embody Gruul. We love to embody Gruul. Not Gruul? Then die. Like, how many drafts have we had where like the spirit of Gruul is with us? Whereas like if we take a look at, I think Strixhaven is a more modern version of that I think the resonance wasn't as strong with. I think it was there, but it didn't have the same sticking power of Ravnica. I think Lorehold like plays in its own unique space to make it its own something new, but like, is it mages or is it mages when we're doing spell focused things? But I think the resonance of the theming is there more than the resonance of gameplay, I guess is the way I'd put it for Strixhaven, for instance. You can be Prismari, I think, is something that like is very evocative. These very artistic build focus on an is it mage, but I'm calling them an is it mage, you see. But I do think they're distinct from is it in the feel. Somebody who would be more like into like, I you know, feel closer with Lorehold or Prismari than is it or Boros, because those are different things. Slyo 51 has arrived. Strixhaven, they feel deliberate design to not be Ravnica, but Ravnica's so strong they've overtaken, like, Boros means red-white. That makes sense. The only guild that doesn't feel evocative of what the color pair generally does is Simic. That is probably why Simic has been, like, reworked in basically every return to Ravnica, where, like, we focus on slightly different variations of what we're doing with, like, 1/1 counter building versus, you know, like, all of them, which was the focus in all three. Okay. Yeah, I want to see what do we have for, okay, so Shala 40 is our goal, and that is 4 metal slimes away. But yeah, like, and like talking about the guilds of Ravnica, not the set guilds of Ravnica, but the guilds, comma, of Ravnica, as one of the strongest things that Magic has ever done, because they're so distinctly Magic, right? They are definitionally what, like, you can look at in Magic and be like, I love to, you know, this is what I want to build towards, or this is what I want to spend my time, like, playing the, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a specific, like, idea of, like, I think of it like as like a role-playing character where, like, it fits the easiest comparison that I'm coming to mind is like when a video game reviewer says it feels like I'm playing as Batman. You're playing the fantasy of playing as Batman. And like that doesn't like say anything about the title or like, you know, but like it's the idea of like, oh, I can feel like there's something to aspire to. It feels like I'm really Spider-Man. I think Slido's finally outspeeding. Which is wild, by the way. I guess we're on double speed, so... We at like 500? I don't think we're always outspeeding, because like speed is a little random. But I think we broke 500. Yeah, 550. God. Yeah, we outspent one of those 4. Wow, all 4 left. But we did outspeed one of them. That's real. We're finally at that break point where we're able to. We're not doing it, but we're getting there. Ooh. I've also talked about it a little bit like earlier today, but like one of the other more recent things that I'm a huge fan of, like as a resident piece of Magic in a different way, not the same as like a guild, but like the card type that is Sagas is one of my favorite additions to Magic because it allows for time's passage and a story to be told on one card. There are also like some very mechanically strong cards over the years. Not just like even from like the first set with Sagas, but like thinking about like, you know, the ones from Neon Dynasty, Kamigawa, that like flipping creatures. Hey, all right, this could be it. Oh no, they're all leaving. Okay, we outspent 4. Okay, we might get that one on the right now. Yeah, all right. That leaves 1. Okay, that's still 1 liquid metal slime. So I think we need 3 more, and then we have Shawl of 40, and then we're all set. Ooh, metal slimes also work as partial liquid metal slimes, so. 1. No. I hit that and it changes the bits up top. Okay. That got us... Okay. Yeah, that's like half. Yeah, now we need 2 metal slime, liquid metal slime. There's 2. It could be right here. This could be it. Let's gonna be one. Ooh, that's a lot. The metal slash might be enough to kill. Yep. It's one more. Hey, Bozo 43. Alright, Bozo, what do you got for us at 43? 14 HP, some MP to back it, and a good set of other stats. Sweet. And $86. Wow. That's not the move you want. I love finding like 5 cents. Alright. One thing I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to go ahead and rein in the game speed so that we're not sitting on... Like, I don't want to get ultra fast stuck in our heads. I like fast. The animations look correct on fast. You can't, so like, reliably is the best you can get, because the way speed works is that you get, like, when turn order is created after everybody puts in their commands, everybody's speed is multiplied by a percentage between 1 and, I think it's 50%. Might actually be 25 now that I think about it. A random number. And so, like, if I think it's 25% as the low end. In this example, though, if you have 800 speed, in order to 100% of the time outspeed something, it needs to have 200 or lower, because your lowest is that you would be 1/4 of 800, and their highest is 100% of 200. And in that instance, they would tie. So. I don't remember what a metal slime speed is, but Slyo has been reliably outspeeding a metal slime here. Shala even is too.
Brace yourself.
Alright, I think that's half the level. That should be like 7,000, maybe 8. Yeah, 7,000 and change. Speed right now, Shala has 270, Slyo has 550, the Kid has 160, and Bozo has 243. That's because Slyo has the doubler on. Slyo's normal speed is half that, so 275. So Shala's actually the fastest in the party normal. But like, even as is, I don't remember the full numbers. I looked at the like behind the scenes numbers. Ooh, here we go. A while back, but that was when I was looking at Game Boy Color, and I don't know if those all carry. But the idea is, if you want to have a 50-50 chance of, beating out them, you want to, be at their level, and then anything above is going to have the slow climb up. Metal Slimes have a little over 600. That would explain why Slyo is sometimes... Oh my god, they don't notice. That explains why Slyo is sometimes getting the turn, because 550, like, even if it's like a 0.75, sometimes that is beat out. Half.
You're mine.
Love how happy they are. One. Okay, one stuck. One more stuck. Okay. That's fine. Alright, we didn't even get to use the puff. Shala 40. That was our goal. 6 HP. And Bozo gets some extra cash. All right. With that, let's go ahead and put ourselves in a place for next time, so that I can kind of talk about the changes that have happened, because there are going to be people who come in on Wednesday who did not watch the second Wednesday here, and so I'll want to quick describe the changes. The plan, by the way, for next Wednesday, we're going to go through. We have to do some mini medal hunting, which is going to be kind of like going around places, looking for treasures. That one's going to be a little more like full world scouring. We have a Shenlong fight we need to beat under 25 to open up the arena. I think we can do that as is. We have the trials that we still have open, the left and right side with the boomerangs and claws and axes and staves. And then we have whatever's behind the trials. And that kind of makes up the rest of what we have for 3. So a special message from Phoebe. So that really is like going to be the end of this. I think we're starting 7 next week, which is wild. When we start 7, we don't have enough money, but that's part of the Shenlong fight. The second Shenlong fight will unlock the arena for us, and the arena is going to have a prize of $1 million. Not $1 million literal, but $1 million like a lot of money, and then we can sell what's in our pockets for the rest of it. So, is metal slime grinding actually faster? So, fighting King Hydras, if you are able to do it, is higher experience. King Hydra, which is an enemy who was a boss but lives in the Cloud's Gate Citadel area. Like, if we go through here, like, we can go find them in a couple of the areas. In there, we can fight King Hydra. And King Hydra is worth 2 liquid metal slimes. The problem is that King Hydra is a fight, a real capital F fight. It was a boss right before Zoma. And so going in there with, like, when our characters were level 1, probably not a good idea. It might have been faster when we swapped over and got to, like, the point where, like, we all had, like, 300 HP, where we could go in there and all have, like, monster pile-on or big damaging moves. But the initial phase, I think, was better or a little bit on the metal slimes. I think in a time sense, the King Hydra fights are quicker. But the liquid metal slime ones are like old reliable. They're also, that's just like, if you're gonna go level up in a Dragon Quest game, who are you gonna call? That's right, it's metal slime. So anyway, yeah, if I were trying to like just level Slyo, I would go beat up King Hydras. It's quicker. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. Thank you all for joining, both for the draft, which I had a blast with, and the Dragon Quest time. Glad to just be able to sit and talk with y'all. But yeah, if you want to catch more, you can always follow, see when I go live, subscribe. Thank you to those who did. Nick Themeron and Zane today. Appreciate it a lot. But if you're just here having a good time, chatting, enjoying the stream, the VOD, listening to me, thank you. I do appreciate it. Love to have you here. So, yeah, that'll be it. Tomorrow, Battle Network 6, Monday, Trails in the Sky. And then, and Tuesday's gonna be like longer form Yu-Gi-Oh stuff again. Psych and I have some time set aside for that. I don't have any real specific bits for that, but it's much like me playing Magic Forge, where I just want to get this part out of my heart. I need to open it and let it out to y'all. That's when the Yu-Gi-Oh streams occur. So, anyway, that'll be it. Thank y'all for joining. Have a good night, everybody.